Hi, this is Emily with mysquarefootgarden.net, and I'm here to introduce you to my new ebook, Planting by Color. This ebook actually started about 4 years ago when I started gardening. I was really confused about when to start things. It's all based on your frost date, and it's 6 weeks before and 2 weeks after, and there were charts and different things on the back of the seed packet, and I had a hard time putting it all together so that I knew I wasn't forgetting something. Well, the first thing I did was create a gardening schedule based on my frost date. Once I had created that, I thought, man, I wonder if this would be helpful for other people. But how do I give them this information in a way that makes a lot of sense and is simple and easy to understand? So I divided the different frost dates into 6 color groups. Here's the front page, and this chart shows which color group you're in based on your frost date. And then I made a custom schedule for each one of those colors. This is the green group because that's the group that I belong to. I put this on my website. I also offer a free newsletter to get reminders of what to plant when. But I love to have things online because it's very helpful and available, but I also found I like to have a paper copy, I like to keep track, and I'm not always at my computer, especially when I'm in my garden. And so I decided to put together a gardening binder, and this is one section of that binder. Now the first section is actually my gardening plan. You can see that here, that I have it color-coded. Every year I do a different garden plan. I've put it in sheet protectors, and then I can use an overhead marker, a wet erase marker, to write on it. And that way, any notes I make, I can use this binder year after year, but those notes will stay until I wipe them off with water. So the first section of my binder is my Planting by Color schedule. The first page tells you, based on your frost date, what color group you're in. You want to make sure you have the right one for your color. I also developed one that has custom dates, so you can go in and fill in your dates in case you fall outside of the frost dates color range that I have provided. Okay, so here's an example of one of the frost date pages. February 15th to February 21st, in my area, you can start seeds inside broccoli, cabbage, and parsley. So it tells me what seeds to start inside, what plants to transplant, either purchased or ones that I started myself inside, and what to plant outside. Now February is really early, so there's not a lot to plant and transplant, but if we skip kind of to the back towards the end, hopefully you can see that there's lots of things to start and transplant and plant outside. These have the date on the top of each week, and there are some notes, some just basic information about different vegetables and why you want to start them or not start them at a certain time. Now, one of the things I love about this binder is by putting it in sheet protectors, it's safe from the elements. I always find myself taking my garden plan outside. It's a piece of paper, it gets blown away in the wind, it gets dirty, it gets wet. Gardening is messy, and so by having it in this binder, it makes it just cleaner and nicer. The other thing that you can do is use the sheet protectors as a way to store your seeds. Now, seeds are kind of bulky, so they won't all fit in here, but for a couple of weeks you can load up maybe a month's worth of seeds. For example, this week minus 12, I can start broccoli, cabbage, and parsley. So I'm going to take my broccoli and parsley seeds and put them in that binder. Then a couple weeks later, it looks like, this week I can start peas. So I'm going to take my peas and put them in. I don't grow everything on the list, so some weeks there's no seeds in there. And then this week I'll be able to start hot peppers and onions from sets, but the onions are kind of big and bulky. I won't put them in here. And then the following week will be bell peppers. See, I'm down to week minus 7. And finally, a couple of weeks later is spinach. So as you see, it is gonna bulk up my binder, but it fits just fine. And then when I go to plant, I have my plan. I know right which square to plant that vegetable in, and I have my seeds. So I have everything with me they're protected, they're not going to get dirty or wet. So this binder outlines 18 weeks of your planting schedule, starting all the way before, 14 weeks before, and then 3 weeks after the frost date, which covers the whole time that you would be planting seeds. It does include information about preparing your garden, when to set out your irrigation, when to prepare your garden beds. Obviously, it's usually about a week before you have to plant something, but there are reminders in there for you to tell you that. So that is the Planting by Color ebook and how you use it.